In our headlines tonight, Governor Obiano commends security agencies on crime-free Yuletide. ABGA members urged to forge united fronts to consolidate on achievements. Troops recaptures Baga town in Borno State from Boko Haram terrorists. Congo ruling coalition wins majority in legislature. Good evening, welcome to the news. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke. Governor Obiano has commended intelligence and security agencies in the state as well as state-owned organizations for providing impressive security in the state, especially during the Christmas and New Year fiesta. We have the details.
According to the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Sidon Adenoba, Governor Obiano made the commendation in a message to both officers and men of the Nigerian Police Force, Department of State Security, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Federal Road Safety Corps, Nigeria Prison Service, Nigerian Immigration Service, Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra State or CHA Brigade, Anambra Vigilante Services, as well as Anambra Traffic Management Agency, ATMA. He said, an excellent result, though not 100% was achieved in terms of security during the recent Yuletide because of the wonderful cooperation among the sister agencies. The governor noted that the kidnap of 2 Catholic priests in Umweri, Anambra East Local Government Area, on Christmas Eve, on their way to Anam in Anambra West Local Government Area, were rescued by security agents 72 hours later without being hurt. He stated that the traditional rivalry among security and intelligence agencies in different parts of the world, including Nigeria, does not obtain here. Rather, what is in Anambra State is cooperation and coordination among them. Governor Obiano attributed the deep level of cooperation among federal and state agencies in the state to his strategy to make Anambra the first choice investment destination in Nigeria, adding that he has consistently stated that investment go first and foremost to peaceful and stable places.
The senator representing Anambra Central Senatorial District at the National Assembly, Senator Victor Ume, has waded into the lingering grievances of some members of ABGA against the party's leadership as a fallout of the party's primary elections. Senator Victor Ume, who previously led the party as its national chairman for over 10 years, regretted the circumstance under which some aspirants were unfairly treated, as alleged, and urged them to shed their swords for the interest of the party. Senator Ume emphasized that the coming general election is strategic for the survival of the party, and ABGA as a party must be supported by every member to achieve anticipated victory. He noted that ABGA remains the best party as it has turned the fortunes of Anambra State and should be expanded to reflect in other states, particularly in the southeast. Senator Ume urged them to drop their grievances and work for the success of the party ahead of the coming elections, pointing out that opportunities abound in future. On their part, the aggrieved ABGA members agreed to disband the protest group, Association of ABGA Aggrieved Members, with assurances that they were no longer aggrieved. They pledged to work in the interest of the party, particularly to ensure that Senator Ume is re-elected to continue the good works he is doing in the Senate. Describing Senator Ume as the father and political grandmaster in the party, the group appealed to him to lend his dependable voice and wisdom in addressing the grievances of members of the party. The citizenry have been asked to uphold the spirit of brotherliness as Ekwenike family of Okuzumbana village or by Demele South Council area launches the edition of Ekwenike Trust Fund. Staff reporter Odinaka Nwolisa captured the mood of the family members. We have the details.
Ekwenike Trust Fund is a scholarship scheme initiated to support the education needs of family members, and in its 15 years of existence has trained about 43 graduates in various fields of human endeavor. The event, which drew members of the family from home and in diaspora, saw the dedication of a crèche, Joyce Foundation, and medical outreach, where the elderly and community members received medical attention in 5 areas of health, including malaria, eyes, ears, and HIV/AIDS tests. Addressing the community, one of the facilitators of the Trust Fund, Engineer Wike Iluno, who traced the history of the foundation, observed their readiness in eradicating illiteracy at the grassroots.
Based on that, in the family, since the past 15 years, we have trained about 43 people who have benefited and have graduated from nursing to engineering to pharmacy to teaching to business admin and all the rest. We have all of them, and we need more.
Earlier, while dedicating the crèche, a guest, Professor Chukwemeka Ekwozo, commended the family for the love and team spirit in challenging a course for such sustainable development, encouraging other good-spirited individuals to emulate the gesture. The director of the medical outreach, Dr. Mrs. Chinyelu Ekwozo, appreciated the leadership of the family for utilizing the period for meaningful development in the area. Speaking to ABS, some beneficiaries of the medical outreach, including Mrs. Modesta Iluno and Mr. Abuchi Inabuike, expressed gratitude to the benefactors and urged others to emulate the Ekwenikes. Relaunching of the Trust Fund, the oldest man of the family, Mr. Charles Udechuku, while thanking God for witnessing the 4th edition of the Trust Fund, described education as the bedrock of the society. Cultural dance by Ofobi Dance Group added color to the event.
The State Police Command investigation to certain circumstances surrounding the fire outbreak that killed 3 children at Obosi. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Haruna Mohammed, disclosed this in a statement in Oka. Staff reporter Odinaka Nwuliza, who visited the scene of the ugly incident, now reports.
It was a gory sight as tears flow freely when 3 children of a family between the ages of 8, 6, and 4 respectively were burnt beyond recognition. ABS, on arrival at the scene, witnessed a mammoth crowd who could not hold back tears as they narrated the ordeal. It was gathered that the cause of the outbreak that claimed the lives of the children could not be ascertained. Report says the family were living in a container apartment as they converted their business apartment to residential house following their accommodation challenges. Sources said their mother left them in the confines of the container and left for an errand when the incident happened. And according to an eyewitness, Mr. Stephen Chuku, who said they were in a nearby mechanic workshop when they heard a shout from the children, which alerted the neighbors, who made frantic efforts to avert the inferno, but could not gain entrance as the container-turned house was barricaded with barbed wire.
Before Bero go no ko aspan go ku baba mo ku bi do boys we obuna na bambo mande ogbo mande ndagbote obi ma mande oso mande mechanic so I seen the mechanic no motor eba also motor ka aka kwara papa eba tradition no ko a motor yours ko bu so no we are going about oga ka na jisi asuna na nwu ya no kwa eba na nwu ya no kwa eba nwa iba also yaba nde ma disa na nwu ya no na mboge be ni oya me nwa ya da otu aka ka anọkwa ebe a na-eji niile ndị mekanik
Another account, Mr. Stephen Chukwu, narrated that every effort to rescue the children proved abortive, lamenting such senseless acts of locking children inside the container.
Okay, so who I say about them, but I say who go kuna people because I'm a movie but I told me when you walk at them, I saw the Nepal Union. about it. And I'm watching that about uncle. No way, why? Why they told me only a shop put up there, but get back to me, and back to me. I have been why I don't know, shift the wine that I say. Then, when I'm on my hand, I have to be able permanently. What? Give us up wine. Fine, I said, okay, I'm not a baby. Then, what's that? Okay. I'm going to hear the way came back. Go Baba, but I'm born. Go Baba, let's go Tambo. My clean, no, every clean, fight, take good and this on the rescue.
Odinaka Wolisa, ABS News.
Very unfortunate indeed. You're still watching ABS Television News Channel 24 Oka. A commercial break beckons. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Rosie, I hope so you don't come borrow money for here today.
Rosie, anything we still do for your one and only brother-in-law, me self, I won't go big.
Pick your phone.
I beg leave all this here customer every time. For people, send me picture. We are 1 data.
See you. You want blow. Here you don't get data. So send ordinary picture. Give your customer.
Rosie, you're waiting on some band new.
See, Kali, is it not the same time you started? Thanks to Glow Gassi. It's two fashion business now. I said, take your 7. Oh, yeah, come. Go buy your own.
Rosie, thank you.
Glow Augustin, the unrivaled big boss of data. Get 125% bonus on all data plans. Also enjoy unconditional 25% data bonus non-stop on all auto renewals.
Rosie, Glow have made me an
Dial
organ.
star 777# to choose a plan.
Glad to have you back. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has announced that the military has fully liberated Baga in Borno State and the surrounding towns from the grip of terrorists. Buratai, in a statement, hailed the troops fighting insurgents in the northeast for their gallantry in decimating scores of insurgents in the battle for Baga. The Army Chief praised the troops in Baga for what he described as an unprecedented feat that gladdened his heart, and also commended commanders that secured victory for the military in Baga. The Army Chief further commended all the gallant officers and soldiers, ratings, airmen, and the civilian JTF that fought tirelessly and supported in liberating all those areas infested by the Boko Haram terrorists. The federal government is banking on the private sector to make up for the $1.3 million balance of its infrastructural deficit under the National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan. This was disclosed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, when he was addressing the high-level stakeholders retreat on public-private partnerships in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Mustafa said all shortfall represented 48% of the money required to address Nigeria's infrastructural problems. He identified the country's chronic poor infrastructure as the major constraint to its economic growth and the ease of doing business, stressing that its underinvestment is overall infrastructure. However, hovers at around 1.5% of the GDP, which according to the McKinsey Global Institute is about 1/5 of the investment level required to sustain economic growth at an appreciable 7% and above. The outgoing Democratic Republic of Congo President Joseph Kabila's ruling coalition party won a majority in legislative elections, a coalition official said, despite opposition leader Felix Tshisekedi's win in the presidential votes same day. The result will undercut Tshisekedi's ability to deliver on campaign promises to make a break with the Kabila era, and fierce suspicions that his victory, announced on Thursday, came through a backroom deal that will preserve Kabila's influence over important ministries and the security forces. Kabila is due to step down in the coming days after 18 years in power, marking Congo's first democratic transfer of power in 59 years of independence. But Kabila has signaled that he intends to remain involved in politics and might run for president in 2023 when term limits no longer apply. Under the Constitution, the parliamentary majority enjoys significant powers, and the president must appoint his prime minister from its ranks. The prime minister, in turn, must countersign presidential orders, appointing or dismissing military chiefs, judges, and heads of state-owned enterprises. In our sports news, Nigeria's under-17 men's team will participate in an invitational tournament in Turkey as part of their preparations for the 2019 under-17 African Cup of Nations scheduled for Tanzania in April. The Global Eaglets, who are 5-time world champions, qualified for the 2019 under-17 AFCON after winning the WAFU under-17 tournament in Niger Republic in September 2018. Coach Manu Garba, who also led the team to global triumph in the UAE 6 years ago, has assured that the team will be ready for the challenges ahead of them. The invitational tournament in Turkey will hold from March 1 to 10, with some other under-17 AFCON participating teams and a number of European teams in attendance. Nigeria play in Group A at the under-17 AFCON alongside hosts Tanzania, Angola, and Uganda. All the participating teams except the host nation won the championship of their respective regions to qualify. Group B has Guinea, Cameroon, Morocco, and Senegal, with the 4 semi-finalists guaranteed places at the 2019 Under-17 World Cup. The 2019 Under-17 AFCON holds between April 14 and 28. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com, and like I said, www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Just before we go, a recap of the main points. Governor Biano has commended security agencies on crime-free Yuletide. ABGA members have been urged to forge united fronts to consolidate on achievements. Troops have recaptured Baga town in Borno State from the Boko Haram terrorists. And on the foreign scene, Congo ruling coalition has won majority in legislature. And that does it tonight on the news. Thanks for watching. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke. Good night.